Hashtag Detroit, hashtag We Are Kalamazoo, hashtag Real Ghost History. What Lies Beneath Detroit's Hidden Cemetery History. By Mark Frankhouse. https://share.newsbreak.com/fn6lqphf?s=I16. Detroit has a lot of interesting history to it, but one forgotten bit of information is that one of its most popular sites was built on top of a cemetery where there are rumored to still be bodies buried beneath the streets. It's hard to imagine Detroit as anything other than the concrete jungle that it is today, but at one point, going back to the early 1800s, the city must have looked completely different. There were lots of early graves and graveyards that needed to be moved to make way for new foundations, as the Facebook page Footsteps to Your Past recalled. Your favorite place in Detroit just may have bones buried under it from the early days. Heidi Christein of the Archdiocese of Detroit say, there are people under Congress, possibly under Jefferson Avenue. The truth is, bodies were scattered around Fort Pontchartrain at Woodward and Griswold, also Woodward and Larned. Photo by J. Kettle Williams on Unsplash. They go on to talk about why the graveyard had to be moved, and where there are apparently bodies still buried underneath in one of Detroit's most popular places. 1834, the city purchased another piece of land at Russell and Gresham, the Russell Street Cemetery. It closed in 1859. The city alleged 4,500 graves were moved to Elmwood and M.T. Eliot Cemetery to make room for Eastern Market. Yes, it is built on the site of one of Detroit's original graveyards. Have you ever been to the Eastern Market and gotten strange feelings or experienced something otherworldly? This may just explain why. Photo by Kenny Elshoff on Unsplash. Here are 6 of the most famous people buried in Battle Creek's Oak Hill Cemetery. From serial magnates to saxophonists, here are some of the most famous residents of Battle Creek's Oak Hill Cemetery. Gallery credit, Lauren Gordon. Lauren Gordon TSM. 1. Sojourner Truth. The renowned abolitionist was born in New York but joined family in Harmonia, Michigan in 1857 before settling in Battle Creek. Truth passed away November 26, 1883 at age 86. According to the National Park Service, a bust of Truth became the first black woman memorialized with a bust in the U.S. Capitol in 2009. Lauren Gordon TSM. 2. Junior Walker. Audrey DeWalt Mixon Jr. aka Junior Walker was a famous saxophonist who recorded with Motown Records in the 60s. Walker grew up in the South Bend area but relocated to Battle Creek in the late 50s. Walker died from cancer on November 23, 1995 in Battle Creek at age 64. Note, Walker played the famous sax solo on Foreigner's hit song Urgent. Lauren Gordon TSM/Canva. 3. Kellogg Brothers. Despite having a tumultuous relationship in life, the Kellogg brothers are forced to spend eternity together as they're buried on the family's plot in Oak Hill Cemetery. Both W.K. and John Harvey Kellogg are buried along with their wives and children. Read about their strange and wildly different lives here. Lauren Gordon TSM. 4. C.W. Post. You can't have one serial magnate without the other. Charles William Post, of the famous Post cereal brands, founded his company in 1895. After suffering a mental breakdown due to the stress of chronic digestive issues, Post visited the Battle Creek Sanitarium, which was coincidentally operated by the Kellogg brothers. Soon after, his first breakfast cereal Grape Nuts hit the market. Post died May 9, 1914 at age 59 in California and was brought back to his final resting place in Battle Creek. Lauren Gordon TSM. 5. V.C. Squire. Victor Carroll V.C. Squire once manufactured the American Stradivarius of violins in Battle Creek. Squire was famous not only for his violins, but the way he made his violin strings. In the 60s, Squier Strings became the official original equipment manufacturer for Fender guitars, who eventually bought the Squier company outright. VC passed away in 1949, but his legacy lives on with Fender's Squier line of guitars. Lauren Gordon TSM/Canva. 6. James and Ellen White. James and his wife Ellen founded the Seventh-day Adventist Church in Battle Creek in 1863. Ellen claimed to receive visions and prophecies from God, and her writings of these events are still held in high regard by her church. Ellen was also known as a leading figure in vegetarianism, with the Smithsonian naming her among the 100 most significant Americans of all time. Hundreds of followers still flock to the White's gravesite every year. The Old Michigan State Prisons and Used Cemetery, Jackson. Google Maps. Old Prison Yard. Google Maps. Old Prison Cemetery. Inked Beardsman, YouTube. Prison section that was to be used as a cemetery. Inked Beardsman, YouTube. And used prison cemetery. Inked Beardsman, YouTube. And used grave markers. 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 Inked Beardsman, YouTube. Graves were to be dug here. And used grave markers. Inked Beardsman, YouTube. 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 And used grave markers. Google Maps. Old prison location. Research #Michigan Maps #Michigan Moundbuilders. Hood Tales history from the hood. In our own backyard. Via #HidStory #Hood History #Hood Tales #Backyard HidStory #Hood HidStory #HidStory in plain sight.